Y'all, I just woke up from the biggest nap. I needed it. Oh, sorry. I had a wedgie. Listen. If you got a wedgie, you got a wedgie. A wedgie is a wedgie. Hey, y'all. I did my schoolwork until my dad ran on the phone. I think I had 18 gigs the other day, and it's gone already. Wasn't that 2 days ago? So in 2 days, I've ran through 18 gigs of data in 2 days, doing just schoolwork. That was only on schoolwork. Laid here and did schoolwork, and I pushed my computer over here and fell asleep. Oh God, y'all. Where's my phone? Give me my phone. Oh. What the fuck? Y'all know there was 3 missing little girls from Washington State. Did y'all see that? Apparently their dad murdered them. They found his GMC Denali and those the 3 babies' bodies out in a rural area. A Washington State man is wanted on suspicion of murder after his 3 daughters were found zip-tied and they were asphyxiated, so he suffocated them like Chris Watts. He's a former Army soldier with extensive training. On Friday, the girls' mothers reported that their father did not return them after a planned visit. He's on the loose. Over the weekend, authorities searched for the children and their father, who was believed to be living out of a white 2017 GMC Sierra pickup with Washington State tags. Here's the thing, though. He was homeless. So if he's homeless, why would the courts give him visitation rights when he doesn't even have a stable environment to take the children to? They did. They sure did. I already read another article. They sure did. They knew he was homeless. They knew that he was having episodes, and they also knew that there was potential alcohol use there, and they still let him have custody, and he did not even have beds, a fridge, a toilet, a shower. He didn't have any of that. Let me tell you something. 10 years ago, they would have denied him parental rights based on the grounds that he didn't have a suitable arrangement for the children. Crazy. Now, these babies' wrists and feet were zip tied. That tells me that they were putting up a damn struggle. His truck was found unoccupied on Monday near a campground west of the city. The girls whose wrists were zip-tied died from asphyxiation. I don't understand. I don't understand how... I just don't understand. It's like Chris Watts all over. Except without the dirty whore. What, well, I mean, I don't know. Why did he do this? My opinion, he's probably got severe mental health problems. Now, we don't know if he was deployed. We don't know if he went through war. We don't know the circumstances. But he was, it says that he was a trained soldier. So for them to state that he wasn't just a basic soldier, hold on one second. I'll read it to you. He had extensive training in the military. It says police said he was unknown. Police said it's unknown if he's armed, but he's a former armor soldier with extensive training. I mean, he looks crazy. I thought this was a mugshot. If it is, it's not from where he killed his daughters. It's an old mugshot. And I do believe that he had been in and out of jail, but I don't know for sure. Someone had said in a post that he was on alcohol and that he was violent. This looks like a mugshot. Does it not look like a mugshot? So I don't know. Something also, look at his eyes. Do you even see any white in him? I mean, he almost looks demonic. Listen. Sometimes people look crazy because they are. Okay? Or they look possessed because they are. Demons are real, okay? So, this is just so sad. So, it sounds like the mother let him pick the children up. He did not return them. She got the authorities involved. They started looking, and they found his truck and the 3 babies' bodies. Okay, so they were not going to stay overnight. Here we go. Now I get some explanation, because I'm like, how did he get custody with no home? Did he have these babies living out of this truck? Listen, the mother told police that Decker, who is the suspect, picked the girls up around 5 p.m. on Friday, but did not return them at 8 p.m., which was arranged drop-off time, and his phone went straight to voicemail. So it sounds like he planned this, in my opinion. I just don't understand what is going on with the world, y'all. That poor mother. And, you know, here's something I'm willing to bet. I bet she had been begging the court system to strip his parental rights, and they would not do it. I bet you money. If I had something to give you, I'm not going to lose anyways. The fact that it was scheduled for him to pick those children up for 3 hours and to have them for 3 hours and then bring them home tells me that they had a custody arrangement. And he normally stuck by it, because otherwise she wouldn't have had to get the authorities involved. If this was something he typically done, an investigation wouldn't have been kicked off to start with. So, in my opinion, he planned this. It was probably to get back at the mother. In my opinion, we don't know any details yet, but what other motive would he have? Now, if he's gonna say, like that crazy, the crazy lady the other day that said her son was possessed, the 6-year-old little boy that she killed, the mother that killed her 6-year-old little boy. Now, it'd be different if he comes out the woodwork saying, oh, they were possessed by zombies like Lori Daybell. But I just don't see that happening, but you never know what could happen. I mean, he looks crazy. So if he does say some crazy stuff like, oh, God told me to kill my children, don't be surprised. I won't be. He looks insane. What did I just say? The mother said, do you hear this? So, everybody knows I'm in Ashboro. I've had 3 people pull up doing that. perverts. They found me off the internet. They come, y'all heard that, right? Blaring music, revving the engine. I literally did this intentionally to sit here and record. 3 people. I had 3 people pull up doing that shit. I can't even, like, live my life because of the perverts. And I'm not going to stop posting. No. I'm just going to keep collecting more footage for a later date. So, a detective, they fell right into my trap. I told y'all we was on some new shit in 2025. A detective said she expressed concern because he reportedly has never done this before. He had always brought the children back, but he is currently experiencing some mental health problems. Girl, if you know he got mental health problems, why are you not putting your foot down? Let me tell you something, you dumbass. If you put your foot down, the only thing they're going to do, what are they going to do? Take your kids and give them to a man that doesn't have a home? Girl, people have got to start being advocates for their children. So you knew he was homeless. You knew he had severe mental health problems. And you still let him take those children. Ain't no way on God's green earth you'll have to take me over my dead body. Over my dead body. It's just crazy. I don't understand what's going on. I hope that the mother comes forward and explains the situation and maybe I'll ease off. But they called me a bad parent, but I would never let my daughter or son go off with somebody who didn't have a stable living environment. I knew had a drug or alcohol problem, potentially PTSD, and additional mental health problems over my dead body. But you know, the state, the way of the world now in these court systems, it's changed in the past 10 years. So the way that they do it now is that they give each parent every opportunity, not every city, to try to be part of the child's life. So it looks like they found his truck in a national forest. There's a $20,000 reward for this shithead. The U.S. Marshals are searching for him. Remember, you got to call the FBI. You can't call 911. You won't get the reward money. What's his name? Travis Decker? Travis Decker, mental health. Issues. So sad. Hello? Hello? Let's see. So this was a campground where he left these little babies' bodies. The man suspected of killing his 3 daughters and leaving their bodies on a campground outside of Leavenworth may have been experiencing mental health issues. Listen, there ain't no mental health issues in the fucking world that would make me harm a child. Whatever they want to say. So what, we gonna give him a slap on the wrist now? It sounds like it. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker. Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, they were 9, 8, and 5 years old. And see, I'd be the bad guy if I hunt his ass down and kill him. I do wish I knew where he was. All right, so here's some history. All right. So Travis Decker was the father of Olivia, Evelyn, and Peyton. Travis Decker was picking up his daughters for a scheduled visit when his ex noted he was quieter than usual, which was out of character for him. She mentioned a recent ticket being a financial burden for him, along with garnished wages due to back child support. She also stated he was talking about getting rid of his dog due to housing and additional financial concerns. So he's living out of a car, he's working a job, because they're garnishing his wages through child support offices. And he had recently got some kind of ticket. Now, whether it's a speeding ticket, it just says a ticket. So I'm going to assume a speeding ticket, and those can get quite expensive. So he's living out of a car, he's working a job, he just got a speeding ticket. They're garnishing his wages, which, let me tell you something, that would have been enough to piss him off to get back at her. Because he's living out of a car, and every time he makes a paycheck, the state is taking a good portion of it to give to her, and he can't get on his feet. I'm telling you right now, that might have been the motive. Anger. Hate for the mother. I don't know. But so many times we've seen parents retaliate against the other parent by harming the child, murdering the child. This is very common, especially in child custody cases. I've even seen parents coerce their children into telling lies on the stand and to court officials, CPS workers. Parents are evil. They will, not all, but you know what I mean, these types of parents we're talking about, they're evil, and they will coach their kids to say that the husband molested them or the mother was beating them. And it's crazy. My mother worked with child custody, and she worked in an attorney's office, and this is what she primarily dealt with: child custody, divorce. I think they did some bankruptcy, but I could be wrong. And so these things get ugly. They get very ugly. And parents, given his circumstances, I would not be surprised if this was a revenge killing towards the mother. They can call it mental health. He's in his right frame of mind if he's working a job and living out of a car and got, you know, he's over here getting them on the weekends. Everything had been fine. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure it wasn't easy. I'm sure it was difficult, and he was probably going fucking insane. But what mental health problem would make you kill your kids? I think that we have got to stop with the over misuse of these mental health problems. Some people are just fucking vile, and it's as simple as that. She said that near the end of their marriage, so Travis's ex-wife, the girl's mother, she said near the end of their marriage, he was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, which she believed he was not taking his medication for. I don't think that borderline personality disorder, I don't think that one of the side effects is murdering your own flesh and blood. Call me crazy, but I've never seen that part in the DSM-5. And y'all know I stay in that book. So the couple's parenting plan was amended in 2024 due to Travis Decker's current living and mental health situation. But his ex told police that the, quote, children enjoyed their time with their father, and Travis had never failed to return the kids. I have a huge problem with this. It's like really sad, because I think that this woman was probably trying to allow her daughters to have a relationship with their father, but he clearly was not in a good place and did not need to be around those children. Also, if he has not taken prescribed medication that he agreed to take, then that would be grounds for terminating those parental rights. Because at that point, he's a danger to himself and the children and society, because he's not taking the medication that has been prescribed. And I don't know if they can do that, but I'm assuming if it was something bad, like, I don't know, schizophrenia or something, bipolar disorder, something that could make you snap and kill a child. If it was something like that, then I would assume that they would stop visitation until the parent resumed medication, but I don't know. Well, now we're about to find out. The plan, which Travis Decker refused to sign, also ordered him to seek mental health treatment and anger management counseling, which he had not done. So why is he still getting parental rights? Why is he still getting weekend visits? What is going on? You know, when I went through the court system 10 years ago, if you didn't obey and jump through their hoops, they took your kid. Now, they don't even care, it sounds like. Where was this? Washington. So he's not obeying by the case plan. He's refusing to get treatment for anger management and other classes. And they still continue to let him have visitation. At the time of the initial report, it was noted that Decker was homeless and did not have a stable home, and was considered homeless. He was known to stay at hotels, motels, camps, or local campgrounds. Decker and the girls remained missing over the weekend. On Monday, June 2nd, he failed to show up to work. His boss noted, quote, some recent mental health concerns. So here we have his boss saying he's struggling, the mama saying he's struggling, social services saying he's struggling, the court system saying he's struggling, but nobody said, maybe this ain't a good idea. I don't understand how parents like this that are actually killers and abusers, how they slip through the cracks, and then people like me get charged with shit they didn't do. I'll tell you why, because I have an anger problem. So it looks good. They knew you'd think I did it because I have an anger problem. You know what I mean? Like, that was the one thing they could slap me with, and people be like, yeah, I could see it. Crazy. Anyways, he faces 3 charges of aggravated murder in the first degree and first degree kidnapping. So it sounds like, clearly, it sounds like they knew that this was a plan. In order to charge him with first degree homicide, it has to be premeditated. And so it sounds like they're going to throw the book at him. And they should. I mean, he dumped his truck. He left his truck with the girls' bodies at the campground, and he just, I guess, took off on foot or called somebody to come get him. Or how do you just leave a national forest on foot? He was out in the wilderness, like the sticks. So I don't understand how he even, is somebody helping him? Like, he was so far out there that he would have to have some means of transportation. So crazy. Oh my God, those babies, y'all. And once again, look at his eyes. Look at how demonic his eyes look. He looks unwell. You can't even see any white in his eyes. It's just full of black. I could have took one look at him and told you he wasn't screwed, right? That's crazy. It's so sad. I feel so bad for the mother, and I hope she doesn't blame herself, but I know it sounds like I'm blaming her, but I just don't understand. And it makes me angry, because if that were you or I, the situation would be way different. We would have never had our parental rights. You know what I mean? So I don't understand how he slipped through the cracks, unless the wife and everybody was vouching for him, saying, oh, it's just a phase. You know, it doesn't make sense. Hey, y'all. Y'all, side note, I got to show you this. I found this. First of all, do y'all know the guy that played the Indian guy in King of the Hill? He was shot and killed over the weekend. He got into a dispute with police. They shot and killed him. This is him. First of all, do you notice his skin color? That's the color I tan. He's Cherokee. I got to do that DNA test. I saw this and I was like, oh my God, he's red tan. That's how I tan. I tan red just like this. And I've been trying to figure out what my nationality is. I know that I have Cherokee in me, but I don't know how much. And the way I tan, I think I got a little bit more in me than I originally thought. But this guy played on King of the Hill. He was the voice actor for, I think there was an Indian man in there. Remember, like a Native American Indian. Let me figure out his name. Hold on one second. Who was the man that voiced King of the Hill that was shot and killed over the weekend? Jonathan Jose. He was the voice character of John Redcorn. Yeah, John Redcorn, the Native American Indian. So it looks like this was released 3 hours ago. They're finally giving us details. God, he was a handsome man. And his hair's like mine, too. His hair is white like mine, y'all. I mean, we look like we could almost be kin. Come on now. I've got to do a DNA test. Is he the papa? Because I don't know if my real dad is even my real dad, but is he the papa? I'm joking. The Native American side came from my grandmother side of the family. So it looks like Jonathan Jose. He was the King of the Hill voice actor. He was fatally shot. Oh, it was by a neighbor. Sorry, I only read half of it. Listen, my ADHD. And I'm also dyslexic, so that's great. A neighbor in San Antonio who opened fire on the actor during a dispute was charged with murder. He also appeared in Parks and Recreation. It's not clear what led to the dispute, but the neighbor fatally shot Mr. Jose. Jonathan Jose, the actor best known for his voice work on the animated television show King of the Hill, was shot and killed by a neighbor on Sunday night during a dispute in San Antonio. Mr. Jose, who was 59, voiced John Redcorn on the King of the Hill and also appeared in Parks and Recreation as Ray Donovan and Tulsa King. The neighbor, who was identified by investigators as Sigfredo Seja Alvarez, 56, was taken into custody shortly after the altercation and was charged with murder. The San Antonio Police Department said on Monday the police did not say what had led to the dispute. It happened around 7 p.m. Oh, so it looks like this man was gay and he had a husband. But in a post on Mr. Josh's Facebook page on Monday, his husband, Tristan Kern D. Gonzalez, described the shooting as a hate crime and said that the two of them had been repeatedly harassed because they were gay. I don't doubt it. I don't agree with this shit. Y'all know how I feel about the LGB, but I don't agree with this. If they were being fucking harassed and stalked and bullied because they were gay, that's fucked up. Just because you don't agree with something and don't like something, it don't mean that you get to go mistreat people. What is wrong with the fucking world? So the husband is saying that he thinks Jonathan was shot because he was gay and that this was an ongoing dispute with the neighbor. He wrote that they had returned to a property where Mr. Josh's home had burned down earlier this year when the shooting occurred. So it sounds like they lost their home in a fire. They were going back to the property. The neighbor and Jonathan, was that his name? Yes. The neighbor and Jonathan got into some kind of verbal dispute and the neighbor just shot him dead. So then the investigators say, our investigation has found no evidence whatsoever to indicate that Mr. Josh's murder was related to his sexual orientation. But how do you know? Are you doing a proper investigation? This was what was it, Redcorn? John Redcorn? John Redcorn. Damn it, Bobby, I love that show. I do. Luann? Let's see. The police referred questions about how many times Mr. Josh had been shot to the Baxter Medical Examiner's office, which did not immediately respond to a request. So the media is trying to figure out how many times he was shot, and the medical examiner is refusing to release the information. Oh, so he was Apache. He was an Apache and Comanche descent. He often played Native American roles during his roughly 3-year decade acting. Damn. He appeared in 34 episodes of the show from 1997 to 2009 on King of the Hill. Sorry. He also appeared from 2011 to 2015 in 5 episodes of Parks and Recreation. He also played in the movie True Grit. He also played in Friday Night Lights, and he starred on Walker, Texas Ranger. In January of this year, Jonathan Joss lost his home of decades in the San Antonio... Hold on, y'all. He lost his home of decades and his dog in a fire. At the time, he told the station his home did not have electricity or gas because it had been vandalized, and that he may have left something on that caused the fire. He said he did not have a job. God bless his heart. He sounds like he's going through it. You know, those little 34 episodes and those little parts that he got here and there was not enough to support his 30 years in the industry. He was probably struggling a lot. Like, he wasn't an A-lister. He was probably more like a C or a D-lister. And for him not to have a job and then to lose his home in a fire, and then his dog dies in the fire, and then he gets shot. I thought I was having a bad freaking year. Poor guy. Poor guy. He grew up in San Antonio and received a bachelor's degree in fine arts from Our Lady of the Lake University. Very handsome man. Ain't that crazy? People are losing it. People are losing it. I mean, and even for his age, he still looked good. Shoot, that's so crazy I tan just like that. As soon as that's what caught my eye. I said, whoa, that's what color I turn, which is a weird color. And I said, whoa, hold on, wait a minute. I want to talk about this $66 million that was stolen through New York. They had $66 million that was stolen, EBT fraud. That's why we all broke. They gave all our money away. Literally. Between illegal immigration and then people just stealing it for their own personal use. I read another report where a woman, she was at EBT... I'll see if I can find it, but she was high up in the EBT office, and she had her own personal EBT cards, even though she worked for social services, and she had like $20,000-$30,000 on these cards, you guys, and she would pass them out to her family. She didn't just have one card, it was multiple cards. I'll see if I can find that in a minute. Remind me. So it looks like the Department of Justice has charged 6 individuals with running a fraud scheme that funneled over $66 million from Agricultural Supplement Nutrition Assistance Program. Oh, so they stole it from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. They stole it from 2 different outlets. The scheme began in 2019. Ain't that interesting? The start of the day on fall. It was actually like 2016 that it started, but anyways. 2019 was perpetuated by former USDA employee Arlasa Davis, A-R-A-S-A. I'm sorry, A-R-L-A-S-A, Davis, who used her own access to SNAP filing systems to register around 160 false transaction codes for co-conspirators to use at various electronic benefits, EBT terminals. So she's doing the same thing that I was just telling you about, but it's a different person. Michael K.E. HOE and his co-conspirators misappropriated tens of millions of dollars in taxpayers' funds meant to help low-income families put food on the table. The fraud was made possible when the USDA employee Arlasa Davis betrayed the public trust by selling confidential government information to the very criminals she was supposed to catch. Their actions undermined the program that vulnerable New Yorkers depend on for basic nutrition. Oh, that's all you're gonna give me? No, I want to know more. So it looks like 6 people have been tried, and they're saying that this is the largest, one of the largest stamp scams in U.S. history, siphoning tens of millions of dollars. I'm trying to figure out how this happened. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, the group ran a fraudulent network of about 160 unauthorized electronic benefit transfer terminals across the New York area. These machines processed more than 30 million in illegal SNAP transactions, part of a larger scheme that generated an estimated 66 million in unauthorized benefits. And y'all saw how hard it was for me to get $300 while I'm living out of a car. This is why. So the EBT program, it provides monthly benefits to help low-income families buy groceries and reduce food insecurity, serving on average 42.1 million people per month in 2023. 42.1 million people. How many damn people are even in the United States? How many millions of people do we have in the U.S.? Oh, 341 million, but hell, if 42 million, and it's probably more than that, it's probably closer to 50 or 55, because that was back in 23, and we have close to approximately 11 to 21 million illegal immigrants that they also gave benefits to. So that 42 could be in the 50s, or it could be doubled. 341 million people in the U.S. and 42 million people receive SNAP benefits as of 2023. And y'all know that's bigger by now. And they lie about the numbers anyway, so the numbers don't really matter anyways. I like to get a general idea, but they doctor all this shit. We've been over this. They lie about everything. They lied about the job numbers. They lied about where the money was going. They lied about how much money was going where. In fiasco year 20... I'm still saying that. That's my word now. 2023, the federal government spent nearly 112 billion in SNAP. Now, this is according to the USDA's Economic Research Service. So we spent $112 billion in 2023 on SNAP funds. And we wonder why we're trillions of dollars in debt? That's 111. It's 111. 112.8. It's actually 100. It's 112.8 billion with a B. It's crazy. About 94% of that went directly to households trying to keep food on the table. The remaining 6% covered state administrative costs. But questions now about oversight are growing. The U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins told Fox Business that she believes 20 to 30% of the program's annual funding, now estimated close to $200 billion, what did I say, may be lost to fraud. They recently uncovered the $66 million scheme. But that's just the tip of the spear, Brooke Rollins said. That is insane. So how did the scheme start? How did they even do this? My hands are so sweaty. It's hot in here, y'all. I got the air going and it's hot. And it's only 70 outside, but the sun is beating down on the truck and it makes it so much hotter in here. My legs and my feet are cold, but my hands and my upper body's hot. Federal officials say the scheme began back in 2019 when Michael, Kehoe, allegedly created a network. They just repeat the same shit. How many times have I said that? I keep thinking they're going to give me the story, and it's just the same stuff repeated. Oh, listen to these names. Listen to these names. These are the people that were arrested. Muhammad Nawafla, Omar Arlawashadada, Gamal Amabid, and Ahmad Ashawababada. Interesting. Very interesting. Not one of them I can even say. So between September and December of 2020, I wonder if they were DEI hires. That's what I was getting at, if you were wondering. Between September and December of 2024, more than 12.4 million was stolen from EBT cardholders. According to the Alabama Department of Human Resources, more than 373,000 households in the state rely on benefits. Despite the high-profile cases, fraud within SNAP is relatively rare. The introduction of EBT cards in the late 1990s replaced paper coupons, making benefits more secure and harder to misuse. As a result, SNAP fraud declined from about 4 cents on the dollar in 93 to approximately 1 cent by 2006. Well, by 2025, honey. Oh, God. $66 million, and I can't even figure out how to make $1,400 to make a truck payment. Ain't that crazy? Crazy world. Crazy, crazy world. All of them deserve to be in jail. So it looks like this past week, May 31st, that Trump ended so there was a lot of people that came here from over the border. They were granted temporary citizenship, temporary asylum, and over 500,000 people. Trump, this past week, he ended that temporary asylum, and they will be deported. He's ending parole for over 500,000 migrants, and it's creating new headaches for employers. I find this humorous because I've worked in construction before, and I actually thrive in the environment. So now employers are worried that because Trump has ended the temporary protective status for these people, they're wondering how they're going to keep their businesses going. Well, I'm free for a job. I can come to Texas. I can come to Illinois, wherever you need me to go. Email me. Employers, construction companies are trying to fight to get these people to be able to stay. It's crazy. It's like, wait a second, didn't you vote for Trump? I mean, didn't you know this was going to happen? You knew that you hired a bunch of illegals that weren't, yeah, they were temporary citizenship. Like, it's crazy. The Supreme Court, the Supreme Court's decision allowing the Trump administration to revoke temporary protections for 500,000 migrants brings the U.S. economy closer to labor shortages. This is out of the Washington Post, by the way. I just want to be clear that we're actually in a job crisis right now. We have a job shortage crisis, and we actually have for about 2 years. So this is just so crazy the way that they lie. I don't know what world they live in. A privileged one. A privileged one. So they're saying that this is going to bring labor shortages because these 500 people are now going to be deported. We have over 7 million people looking for work right now. 7.8 to be exact, and 1. You know what I mean? Like, I think we'll be fine. It's just crazy that I've seen so much of the media trying to defend illegal immigrants and their actions. The media does not want to see these people go. You know what I mean? And it's like, wait a second. They got to go. They got to. I need a job. People do not understand that I talk about these things because it has impacted me. When I walk into places of business in Greensboro, North Carolina, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, parts of Florida, and everybody in the place is of other descent, you can clearly see that they don't hire white girls. I'm not being funny, I'm being realistic. I just want a job. So I found this article the other day. You know that I talk about gaming systems all the time and how I believe technology is horrible for children and how I believe that they should have limited time on gaming systems and that parents need to be very cautious when allowing children to play on these these gaming systems, because it is a hot spot for pedophiles. So there was a report that came out and it's talking about a problem on roadblocks. Now, I've never played this game, and I hope I'm saying it right. It's Roblox, right? Roblox? Shit. Sorry. Put a quarter in my cuss jar. Roblox pedophile problem. The internet's biggest recreation zone for kids is fighting to keep predators away, and it's not winning. So they did a study, and more than half of children under 13 were on Roblox daily, making it the world's biggest recreation zone for kids, for pedophiles to make contact with kids. Sonic Eclipse was a bustling cul-de-sac where the children... Y'all, hold on one second. I don't know what this is. Why do they write stuff like they're trying to write a movie? Hold on. Everything goes wrong. Here we go. So it looks like Roblox has about 79 million daily active users. More than half of them are under 13. It's designed to put profits over children's safety with social media features that allow pedophiles to efficiently target hundreds of children. And there's been multiple children that have been lured off of the internet and then killed. It's just crazy. So Roblox, which is a game that allows children to create and play games online, is one of the world's largest recreation zones. Why are they just repeating the same thing? This is a whole different article. The platform offers 1 million games and allows players to socialize with each other, including in chat rooms. According to Roblox, they process more than 50,000 chat messages every second. So they're saying, we found Roblox to be an X-rated pedophile hellscape, replete with users attempting to groom our avatars, groups openly trading child pornography, wildly accessible sex games, violent content, and extremely abusive hate speech, all of which is open to young children. So there was an in-depth investigation by Bloomberg Businessweek in July entitled Roblox Pedophile Problem. The Bloomberg investigation reported that since 2018 in the U.S. alone, at least 24 people had been arrested for abducting or abusing victims that they had met or groomed on Roblox. One of the moderators interviewed by Bloomberg said that her team receives hundreds of escalated reports involving children's safety every day. They're receiving hundreds of reports every day. With proposals for stronger safety settings in line with online safety laws being ignored. Roblox was proud to be one of the first companies to publicly support the California Age-Appropriate Design Code. The California Age-Appropriate Design Code required businesses that provide an online service, product, or feature for children to have a certain safety and privacy protocols embedded into the design of the product feature. The law recognized the distinct needs of children at different age ranges and provided that businesses should take those differences into account when designing a product or feature. Listen, these people don't care about your children. They don't care. They care about making money. They care about getting your child addicted to the game so that he'll be a lifetime user of their dope. The best thing you can do is not buy this shit for your children. Send them outside to climb a tree. I understand the social pressures that's going to come as a parent. I'm being facetious in a sense. But at the same time, this is very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And scary. You send your child to go play Roblox in their room, and little do you know, some pedophile is trying to get them to sneak out of their bedroom at 3 o'clock in the morning, telling them that they're the same age that they are. Just come out your window, it'll be fine, your parents will never know. It's terrifying. Or, even worse, when is your parents not going to be home so I can come over and see you myself? And as it said, that report said that pornographic images were being shared through Roblox. It is a hunting ground for sex predators. That's what it says. Now, this was February 21st. Roblox is a hunting ground for new child sex predators. Oh, there was a lawsuit filed. What's this? A new lawsuit filed in San Montito County Court claims that Roblox, one of the most popular online gaming platforms for children in the world, is providing a hunting ground for sex predators. The lawsuit filed by the law firm Cochette, Petir, and McCarthy early this month on behalf of a 13-year-old boy who was an avid user of Roblox and Discords. I wonder what happened to him for his parents to sue. Adults can use Roblox and Discord to contact minors through discreet messages while pretending to be children. What could go wrong? The lawsuit states that Roblox's success and continued growth has hinged on its constant assurance to parents that the app is safe for children, and in reality, Roblox is a digital and real-life nightmare for children. The 13-year-old boy's father allowed his son to use the popular app because both companies claim to be safe for kids. They lie about everything. Everything is a scam nowadays. Attorneys said the boy's parents, quote, learned the truth only after it was too late. In 2024, they discovered that Roblox and Discord had enabled a child predator to identify, groom, and coerce their son into sending sexually explicit images and videos of himself, where that predator goes on to share them with other predators online. It was a 27-year-old man named Sebastian Romero. A search warrant served at Romero's home uncovered evidence that he had allegedly exploited more than 25 minors. I said this the other day. If you didn't hear it, let me refresh your memory. Pedophiles have around 13 victims each, approximately. Each pedophile has approximately 13 victims. Average, you know what I mean? They did a study on this, and it's just heartbreaking. What happened in this case, which is often what happens, is that you have an adult masquerading as a child and then interacting with children. The predator was 27 years old, but he was telling the child that he was a 16-year-old boy. His innocence has been snatched from him for forever. Tragically, what happened to him is far from an isolated incident. Discord headquarters in San Francisco was also slapped with a lawsuit. Discord is an app for gamers looking to communicate while playing video games. Discord permits chatting with anyone over voice, video, or texting messages. Roblox, in effect, serves as an initial access point for predators. Once on the app, like Discord, predators escalate their exploitation by soliciting explicit material. Roblox apps and profit-driven virtual currency system enables predators to exploit children, often by trading or extorting Roblox in exchange for explicit photos. So apparently in this game, you can buy like characters, you can buy like little accessories. And what these predators are doing is they're saying, I'll give you that character if you go take a picture of whatever. And the children do it. How disgusting. The lawsuit accuses two gaming companies of negligence that resulted in the 13 boys' emotional distress, psychological trauma, anxiety, and depression, and assault. I just want to be clear. Exploiting a child for sexual content is assault, in my opinion. The damage is done psychologically. It's the same damage that would be done if he was raped. The boy also endured humiliation, shame, and profound loss of trust and innocence. Sounds like CPTSD or PTSD to me, honey. Like, poor buddy. God, I hope he's going to be okay. Yeah, be careful on the gaming systems. They're out here everywhere just trying to get to your child. So it seems like what they do is sexual predators will first initiate conversation with the children in chat rooms. Then after building some level of trust, they'll use cunning methods to access the child's webcam. Hold on, this is a different story. Hold on. Ow, my ass. I'm sitting on something that I shouldn't be sitting on. Ow. So this is a different story I found that's similar to that one, but even worse. Okay, Eden Kamar, a PhD candidate in cybersecurity at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, and Dr. C. Jordan Howell, a cybercrime expert at the University of South Florida, teamed up to expose the many ways in which pedophiles target young children in the U.S. Quote, before the internet, we would regard the production of child pornography as being in the same room with the minor and using professional cameras. Nowadays, predators can produce child porn from the comfort of their homes using advanced technological tools such as webcams, screen recording programs, and screenshots. Listen to this. Howell told the Post that the duo wanted to identify how sexual predators first initiate conversations with children in chat rooms, then after building some level of trust, using cunning methods to access a child's webcam and recorded the child porn. The research was carried out between October 21st and May of 22. They began by creating several automated chatbots and they never initiated the conversation and were programmed to only respond to users who identified themselves as 18 years of age and above. The chatbots engaged in nearly 1,000 conversations with potential pedophiles in 30 randomly selected chat rooms amid at teens. 38% of online predators then sent unsolicited links. Okay, so the child is in the chat room, the pedophile sends a link, and the kid clicks on the link, and boom, they have access to their webcam. So if a child has a computer set up on their bed, the webcam is rolling, and the predator is recording the child from his home. It's getting dangerous out here, okay? In text chats seen by the Post, the bots responded to initial greetings from predators asking age, sex, and location. And after the bot claimed to be 13 or 14 and a female, the predators came back with a video link. First of all, this chat conversation, I can't even read on here because it's so disgusting, but they actually have, hello, yeah, I agree. You should not let your girl mom 08, you should not let your children be unsupervised on these. I think, that's the best route to go. You're absolutely right, is to be in the same room with them at all times while they're playing these games. That is the only way to ensure. If you're with them, that they're, if you're with them, you can kind of keep an eye on things. I would never let one of these gaming systems in the room with the bed, with the child, and them alone with it. I mean, it's really getting bad. And the sad part is so many parents have this attitude, my kid would never. Those are the kids that end up doing this shit. Because the parents have this false illusion of safety in the home, and they're not realizing that kids are curious, kids are adventurous, kids are kids. They're innocent. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. There's a lot of countries that are also taking electronics away. There's a lot going on with technology right now in the States and out of the States. There's a lot of countries not allowing cell phones in the school. They're raising the age for when children can have cell phones. I agree with all of that. So let me read some of this from the Predator. The Predator says, "Hi, you're pretty." The chatbot says, and he thinks that this is a 13-year-old girl, 14-year-old girl. The chatbot says, "Hi, age, sex, and location." And he says, "I'm Jack, I'm 19, I'm from New York." And he says, "You?" And she says, 14, and I'm from the UK. And he says immediately, "You have a cam or pictures?" And she says, "Let's chat a bit first before I start sharing pics." He says, "What are you wearing?" He's coming in hot. She says, "PJs." He says, "You mind if I'm undressed?" And he says, "Do you want to see?" And then he sends the link, and the child would click on the link, and then he would have full access to their webcams and their cameras. A staggering 41% of the links directed to whereby a Zoom competitor that provides video and audio conferencing. The Norwegian company was established a decade ago. Hold on. Oh, that's the same thing. Okay. So the Norwegian company was established a decade ago. According to its website, it has been used by companies like Spotify and Netflix. In navigating the company's website, Howell said that researchers found that whereby allows users to control other participants' webcams without their consent. What is this place? Whereby? What is that? Does anybody know what that is? Whereby app. Okay, so it's an app. It's a video. Oh, so this is through some video app they're able to do this. Okay, so let me explain this. So the Predator makes contact with the child through Roblox or the gaming system. Then he sends them a link. When they click on it, it goes to this, and somehow he's able to access their cameras from their computers and produce child you know what with it. It's a video meeting app. How wild. I'm always like, how much worse can it get? I mean, that's what nightmares are made of. I'm a grown woman and that terrifies me. You know what I mean? Much less my children, like, could... What have I done? I went all the way back. So, this Dr. Kumar, he told the Post that online predators compromise and exploit the video conference platform to control the child's computer without their knowledge or consent. Once the predator has access to the child's camera, they use it to record and live stream the child's, creating you know what. In some cases, the predator will simply spy until he gets videos of the child changing clothes or, depending on the age, performing sexual acts. The predator will ask or blackmail the child into performing sexual acts on camera. With access to the child's camera, someone can also record them without their knowledge. In other words, multiple sexual predators can simultaneously watch the live webcam footage of a child who does not know that she is being watched or recorded. No cameras in the bedroom or gaming systems. No computers or gaming systems in the bedroom. Bookshelves. Perfect. Get them an encyclopedia. They'll be thrilled. They'll be so happy. Could you imagine they come home from school, you done took all the gaming stuff out the bedroom and you got an encyclopedia in there? They'll lose it, man. They'll lose it. How scary. I didn't even know that was possible. No, I didn't even know that was possible. Please, you guys, my followers that care about me, ignore the chat. I want people to see the evil on display. As I'm sitting over here caring about society more than anybody I know. I'm such an evil person for telling people to protect their children. God, whatever will we do? Put me on a stake, burn me. Parents should know this. And the news, this is what the media should be telling parents. This is their job, to warn us about stuff like this. This is the first time I've even heard that this was a possibility. Now, I knew that Roblox, the gaming systems, I knew that predators were going through the gaming systems to try to harm children, but I did not know that there was a way to access a child's webcam through a computer and live stream it simultaneously with multiple other perverts. Wow. Since 2019, according to a recent report by the Internet Watchdog Foundation, online sexual abuse of children has increased by a whopping 1,000%. I'm going to screenshot that for a later date. Online sexual abuse of children has increased by 1,000%. In the U.S., 1 in 6 children will experience some form of online sexual abuse before the age of 18. As if we didn't have enough other forms of sexual abuse already. The wonderful world of the internet, the web, the World Wide Web is bringing pedophiles out of the woodworks. 1 out of 6 children will be violated through an online, some form of online. It says 1 in 6 children will experience some form of online sexual abuse before the age of 18. So just know that when they're on there, there's a 1 in 6 chance, which is way too much for me personally. It's crazy. Way too much. Malware sites can be used to infect a child's computer to gain remote access, whereas phishing sites are used to gather personal information, including home addresses. Great. So he knows where to kidnap them at. How is this even legal? Oh my God. So I don't know how to say this word, but it's something called phishing. Is that phishing? Hippopotamus? Phishing attacks can also give a predator access to the password to a child's computer, which can be used to access and remotely control a camera. So these 2 doctors who did this research, they're asking for parents and tech companies to make these sites safer. But I'm here to tell you guys that these companies want these pedophiles on there because it keeps them busy. It's just like churches that allow certain members of congregation to come in knowing good and well that it's against the Lord's word. They just want money, so they let the gay community come in. It's the same thing. These online companies need the business. They need people in there, and so they don't care if there's pedophiles in there. It's just going to make them more money. They have no reason to stop it. Well, if the lawsuits start coming out the woodworks, they will. But they have no reason to stop it. So I found this article from 1999 that was so that was kind of like the start of online. 1999, we had a computer in the house, but it was one of those like big old huge box computers, like the old Macintoshes, but this was older. I think it might have been a Macintosh if it was gray. I found this Crimes Against Children, the Nature and Threat of Sexual Predators on the Internet from 1999. Damn it. Recently, highly publicized news accounts in which pedophiles have used the internet to seduce or persuade children to meet them to engage in sexual activity have sparked very vigorous debate about the wonders and perils of the information superhighway. Information superhighway. Isn't that interesting? And there's no information on the information superhighway nowadays. One report indicates that almost half of children ages 12 to 17 use the internet. I was not allowed. We were not allowed to use the internet. Another study claims that 10 million children have access to the internet. That number is expected to grow more than double in the next 5 years. With the advent of ever-growing computer technology, law enforcement officials are discovering that criminals roam the internet just as they roam the streets. This was back in '99, so they knew that this was going to be a problem, and they didn't stop it then. They could have stopped it then, but why didn't they want to? Money. Money. They need to make them computer sales. They need to get people addicted young, so they have forever, like they build forever customers, you know? Cyber predators often cruise the internet in search of lonely, rebellious, and trusting young people. The anonymous nature of the online relationships allows users to misrepresent their age, gender, and interests to reach into the home and befriend the child. These online forums allow computer users to exchange typed messages about a particular subject and to engage in conversation with like-minded souls, often perfect strangers. In this environment, a middle-aged man could actually be masquerading as a 12-year-old girl. Clever pedophiles manage to befriend and gain the trust of youngsters who may eventually agree to a face-to-face meeting. In recent cases, youths have agreed to such meetings, have been photographed, raped, beaten, robbed, and worse. The use of the internet by pedophiles to seduce and lure children for illicit purposes is a horrifying trend. And these stories, which are appearing more and more frequently in the papers, are astonishing. So you don't think that we should have maybe put some laws on the books to protect children back in '99 when we knew that this was going to be a problem? Because I think that that's what they should have been doing. Maybe it wouldn't be as bad as it is now if that's what they were doing to start with. Maybe it wouldn't be this bad. Maybe they wouldn't have the opportunity to do all this. Oh God. I just found it interesting that they knew that back then, and they still allowed this to take place. I had to show y'all this because they had a like meet and greet type of, it was a LGBTQ plus meeting downtown Jacksonville the other day. It was the Equality Florida spoke during the annual march across the Acosta Bridge as the participants carried pride flags and signs. It's so funny because in the article it said that, look at this mess. It said that there was hundreds of people. There was not hundreds of people out there. I saw the actual pictures. There was maybe 50, 60 people out there. Jacksonville does not support that shit. Jacksonville, Florida is a family conservative, family traditional area. So it's funny because in the article they lied and said that there was hundreds of people out there. There was not. There wasn't even 100 people out there to support this bullshit. Good for you, Jacksonville. Don't lose that. Don't lose those morals. I couldn't help but notice how everybody was morbidly obese either. Maybe that's why the mental health is lacking, because of the food. You know, the food impacts the mental health severely. Yeah, I found it funny. I was like, wait a minute, I don't think you guys know where you are. This is the worst place to do this. If you want to do this, you can go down south or you can go up north, but not here in the middle in Jacksonville. These people ain't going for it. It's hilarious. So I found this stripper stuff on the internet. For those that don't know, I used to dance back in the day. It's been many, many years. I quit dancing because COVID killed the industry. When I worked in the clubs, I was an actual theatrical performer. I could do pole moves. I was always a top earner. It doesn't matter what club I was at. I was a top earner and one of the best pole dancers we always had. After COVID, the clubs shut down during COVID and then they opened back up. After COVID, strip clubs made a switch from theatrical performing to prostitution. Now, I do know that prostitution was going on in a lot of clubs elsewhere other than where I was at. In North Carolina, when I first started dancing over like 20 years ago, in North Carolina, if they knew that you were a prostitute, they would not let you strip because of ABC laws and them being scared that they would lose their business. If they knew that a stripper was having sex on the internet with people, like back in the day, they had websites and stuff and phone books. If they knew that one of the strippers was also a hooker or an escort, is what they used to call them. If they knew that she was an escort, they would fire that stripper. And matter of fact, managers used to go through all of those online ads and the blueprints and stuff, and they would make sure that none of the pictures looked like the strippers in the club. And if they did, if they found one of them strippers on that back page or Craigslist or God knows whatever else, then they would fire them on the spot. They had a no tolerance policy for prostitution in the clubs that I worked in exclusively for 15 years. After COVID, I was working in Charlotte, North Carolina at the Gentlemen's Club and also the Gold Club, which is two of the best clubs in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's part of a franchise, MAL Entertainment. After COVID, there was a switch. They started letting girls do all kinds of extra stuff in there. And so I went down to Raleigh where they built $1 million club and they have hot tubs. Anywhere that has a hot tub or a private room is operating a prostitution ring. That's why I left. I refuse. I flat out refuse. So, because I have talent. And I got into that because I enjoyed dancing. I enjoyed meeting men. And I enjoyed hanging out with men. I never signed up to be fucking these men in a hot tub or, excuse my French. Sorry, I'm trying to quit cussing. I never signed up for that. That's not what I signed up for. And so many of my friends that are still in the industry feel the same damn way. It's crazy what has happened out here. But also, when your income is directly based on everybody else's income and they're not making anything because we're living through a silent recession, they just do not have the money to come into the club and spend money like they used to. After COVID, it fell off. Like, it fell off majorly. Like, I used to make a few $1,000s a week. And then you would go into work after COVID and only make $200-300 and be putting up with the craziest behavior because people are going insane because they're stressed out and they're broke. And then now they're in the strip club drinking, crying on your shoulder. So it changed. It absolutely changed. When I first moved into my car, we went to several clubs, South Carolina, Florida. We went to all kinds of different places, West Virginia, Virginia. We went and tried some of the clubs. The quality of women that are in these places has went down drastically, which causes problems for someone like me, okay? The girls are not up to par. Most of them are obese. They don't take care of themselves. There's more drug problems running rampant in those places than ever before. They've become scam artists. See, back in the day, you could go in a strip club and not have to worry about being drugged and robbed. Nowadays, that is a rational fear that you should have going into these establishments because it happens so much. A matter of fact, if you're going to go into one of those shitholes, I hope you don't. Ladies, you're better than that. Don't put yourself in that position. Men, you're better than that. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't be desperate for money and or to have companionship. If you must, please read the reviews before you step in these places. Literally, the year before I quit, one of the bouncers that was a good friend of mine was shot in the club that I used to work at. He was shot multiple times in the parking lot. Not to mention my ex owned a club. We were together for half a decade. We got robbed and our bouncer got shot 5 times and he lived. But these places are extremely dangerous. Not only did the bouncer get shot 5 times, we had a guy in 2017, 16. It was before we met. He had a guy that got shot and killed in the parking lot, and the family sued him in a wrongful death suit for $6.5 million. That probably had something to do with why we lost our $1 million house. I could not make my life up if I tried it. As I'm sitting here saying this, I feel crazy telling. I bet half of y'all are like, what the fuck is she talking about? There's no fucking way. Anyways, I've had a pretty crazy life. So, Florida. Florida has been notorious for prostitution for decades, especially South Florida. The clubs down there, Tootsie's, Booty Trap in Miami, Showgirls, they're all shitholes, and they want you to prostitute in the club and then give them half the money, which is crazy in itself, but they want you to prostitute in there. I had some horrible experiences at those clubs, and that was back in like 2013, 2014. So I stayed out of the South Florida area because I knew about the prostitution going on down there. Back in like 2018, 2019, I would come up to, or I'd go down to Jacksonville, and I would work at the Officers Club or Emperors, which was two of the nicest clubs back then. If you go by the Officers Club in the Mayport area next to the Naval Base in Jacksonville, it is dead 24/7. There is no cars in the parking lot, but one stripper and one manager, always. I don't even know why she keeps coming back. I ain't never seen anybody even there to give a dance for. That's the reality of it now. Everybody is broke and nobody has money to go and spend. And I don't want to be in an environment where people are drinking and doing drugs. Y'all saw me go try to dance at all those places last year, looking for work, putting myself in a horrible position, getting drunk to deal with it all. I don't want to go back to, I don't even drink now anymore. I don't want to go back in that environment. I've come so far from being brainwashed, thinking that that type of behavior was normal, to now realizing that that shit was affecting my soul, my mind, my mental health, my stability in life. Like, that stuff is not good for you. That type of environment is not good for you. And it's extremely dangerous. And that's why I left. That's why I left. So if you wonder why I live out of a car, it's because I refuse to sell my soul. And there's no money in it anyways. What's the point? You know, maybe I'd think about it if I was pushing out $5,000 a month. A week. Pushing out $5,000 a week like I have at one point. I might think about it. It might be worth it for $20,000 a month. Do you get what I'm saying? But it's not worth it for $200 a week. And I'm not doing prostitution. That's another thing. I was fired from a club because I refused to buy drugs from the bouncers. I got all of this on camera, by the way. That was the moment that I started recording stuff. That was the start. So he fired me because I refused to buy drugs from the bouncer, and I refused to have sex with a customer. So they called me into the office, and he's like, we're going to cut you loose. And I said, why? I said, because I won't do drugs, buy drugs, and fuck customers. And he said, yes. This was the Emperors of Jacksonville. And do you know the next day the FBI called me asking me if I knew of any underage girls in the club? First of all, how did the FBI get my phone number? Second of all, how did the FBI know that I'd worked there for just simply a week? Third of all, how did the FBI get my phone number? So allegedly, well, actually, factually, because they were arrested for it, Emperors of Jacksonville used to hire high schoolers, which is illegal. Illegal as hell. So most clubs, you got to be 21. There are some clubs you can be 18. It depends on liquor laws, the state, the county, blah, 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 blah. Apparently in the past, they had hired high school girls to come and strip at that club, and they got in big trouble for it. The FBI called me to ask if I'd saw any underage girls. How did they know that I was fired? How did they know who I was? How did they know where I was? Creepy. That's the damn government for you. Creepy. All right, so there's going to be changes to the stripper laws here that I found interesting. There's a challenge to the Florida stripper age law drop. This is out of Tallahassee. After a federal appeal court last month upheld similar restrictions in Jacksonville, plaintiffs have dropped a challenge to Florida's law that prevents strippers under age 21 from performing in adult entertainment establishments. We can actually go ahead and raise it to 25 when their brain is fully developed, but I'll take this. I'll take this. Attorneys for 2 clubs, a dancer, and an adult retail store filed a notice Tuesday in federal court in Tallahassee dismissing the lawsuit, which challenged the law on First Amendment grounds. The U.S. District, blah, 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 closing the case. So they're not going to do it, or they are? Oh, they dismissed it. What the fuck? I thought we were making progress. I got to sit down, y'all. Ow. I can't find nowhere comfortable. I usually put my pillows down here, but I don't know if I can. That works. Maybe, Jordan, maybe. That would make more sense, that the club was bugged, or they like had an informant on the inside. That would make sense. I mean, it blew my mind. That was really a creepy time, and I was already stressed out at that time too. You know, as soon as I got fired from that job, I stepped out into the car and my phone rang. I got off the phone with the FBI and it rang again, and I never answer my phone. I never catch my phone ringing. It was in my hand. I was looking at it and it started ringing. So I answered it, and it was a job that I had applied for at a bar, and he hired me that day. So I got fired from the strip club at like 11 o'clock in the morning, and then by 1 p.m. I had a whole new job running. I was a general manager of a fucking bar. And I stayed there for a while, but I wasn't making no money, so I had to quit. That's the state of society now. The bar industry is dying. The May 7th document said that the Jacksonville ordinance was very similar to the state statute challenged in this proceeding. In particular, both laws prohibit the employment of persons under the age of 21 in exotic dancing environments. I just feel like these girls need to be older. I was around the age of 18 when I started dancing, and I met so many horrible people. It just led me down a rough path. I just feel like I was 18 when I caught my felony charges. So, and I had stripped before then. So, I don't know. I think that, I think people need to understand that even when these 18-year-old girls are running around in there, they're doing drugs and they're drinking. It doesn't matter that they're not 21. They're still finding ways to drink, and it wreaks havoc on the clubs. Then the managers have underage drunk girls that can't drive home. It wreaks havoc on the business to even have them in there because they're so young. And they don't know how to do, they don't know how, you know, what we call those in the industry are baby strippers. Baby strippers do not have a business sense about them. So what they do is they come in and they start getting wild and doing all kinds of shit for no money because they don't have a business sense. It's not good for the industry to have baby strippers in the club at all in any sense, when it comes to ALE, when it comes to other strippers, when it comes to business, when it comes to dealing with them on a work level. I used to run the strip club, so you know, my ex owned a club. I've dealt with strip clubs in and out extensively for almost 20 years. It's a lot. It's a fucking headache. I would not wish that job on anybody that doesn't want it. But ironically, most people that have it want it because they're perverts. So it looks like they did uphold this. Hold on, let me just verify that, because the way they write stuff, they go back and forth. Do you have to be 21 to strip in the state of Florida now? Yes. This was 6 days ago. Ron DeSantis signed a bill into law Monday that prevents anyone under the age of 21 from working as a stripper. They say they did this to crack down on human trafficking. What? What? Whatever you say, Ron. He don't make no damn sense. He don't make no damn sense no more. I used to love him. They're doing it to crack down on trafficking? Whatever. Here, I'm going to answer some of you guys' comments. Oh, sorry, I've been running my mouth. There's a lot going on in the world. A whole lot. I haven't been able to keep up. Hello, Roscoe. Maurice, I don't know why they block your hearts. Maurice sent hearts and stars, and they always block it. Y'all, I look so rough. I barely got any sleep last night. Yeah, you heard that. I'm glad you heard it. Imagine, and that one wasn't even loud. Imagine hearing that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times a night. Y'all have no clue the shit I've been through. That's why I'm recording it all. I'm going to start baiting them. Like I just did. I even showed exactly where I was at. Oh, thank you. There is no due process in the court system anymore. That shows how stupid you are to think that there is. Yeah, no. Erica, are you a robot or something? Probably taking at least 25%. Probably, Kevin. Thanks, Richard, for jumping in and being chat dad. You two quit fighting. I don't care who's talking about me. Any publicity is good publicity. I've done said stop coming here talking about it. Y'all revel in drama and then y'all wonder why y'all are miserable. John Redcorn. He just wanted to be a dad. Ray. Oh. Little crying faces. Yeah, I've already addressed that. Nobody cares. Because he's a loser trying to get rich off my name. People think that I make all this money and they think they're going to make money. I don't make money. I don't even know. I'm about to lose my drug. Oh, it's so comical. You too, Jay Bow. I hope you're having a great day. We don't do retracted messages on this channel. We don't do sexual harassment. Anybody talking about my toes will be blocked. Like, you know, I let you look at them and then you take it too far. Like, you can't even be grateful for the little peep show you got, you know? Like, you ungrateful bastard. You ungrateful bastard. Girl Mom 08, in some other countries, there's this organization called MAPS, Minor Attractive Persons, and they've actually destigmatized the name pedophile so that people are more comfortable with pedophiles. It's crazy. It's like, what is going on out here? It's like, we do not protect children, women, men. I mean, we just let everything go to crap. We let everything go to crap. Yes, they come just to troll. I'm so sorry. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa R. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, they do, and I'm so sorry. Joe Mama. I didn't even know you were in here. Selena. Selena, was that you? Somebody named Selena sent me a Snapchat request for a friend request, and I was wondering if that was you. I'm never on Snapchat. I have it. I downloaded it to look at my pictures so that I can show y'all how big I used to be. And also the track marks on my arm. I have more videos coming. I had to have laser tattoo removal done on my arms and legs because I had black marks all the way up my arms from the heroin that I used to do. The back of my hands were completely covered in dope scars. And so I had to go get all of that removed. They didn't even know if it would work. I got laser tattoo removal. It's supposed to take the ink out of a tattoo. You can see that heroin scar right there. You can see that black one too. You see that? That's leftover. Heroin scar. Heroin scar. Heroin scar. Oh, they had to cut my foot open right there and pack it because I got an infection. They had to like lance it, and like, y'all, that was some of the, that pain was worse than childbirth. And I've done that twice. That pain was worse than childbirth. My foot had swole up 3 times the natural size. I couldn't even walk on it anymore. I'd gotten an infection from a needle. Not sharing. I never shared. I used to buy, I was talking about this the other day. If I had thousands of dollars to spend on heroin, I had $12 to go buy a box of 100 needles. You can go to Walmart and get them for $12 a box, I do believe. It's been a long time. It's been 5 years since I did drugs. So it's been a long time. But I used to go get a new box of needles every single week. So I never shared or anything like that. And I already have OCD. So like, I mean, if somebody wanted to use my leftover needle, they can have it. But I'm not using nobody's stuff like that. Never did. And I'm grateful that I don't have hepatitis or AIDS or HIV or anything like that. Thank God. But it's probably because I didn't share needles. So that's how you get those things, is through sharing needles. So anyways, even though I used a clean needle, I got an infection in my foot. And what it was my drug dealer got locked up, and there was a different drug dealer that I went and trusted, and his dope was not good. It like literally left holes in my body. And so when I did it in my leg, I got an infection. It was probably from the dope and the needle, and it swelled my foot up. And so I had to go into the ER. First of all, when you go in for a medical treatment like that and they know you're a drug user, they treat you like shit. The doctor immediately snatched open the curtain, stuck his head in, and he says, "I just had a 25-year-old die the other day. She had sepsis to her heart." And I'm just sitting there with my leg. I'm like, okay, like, sorry to hear. He was saying that out of love. He was. He's sick of seeing people die. I get it now. I didn't get it then. I took it personal then. I understand that he is sick of seeing people die. So anyways, they take this long metal object and they poke it into your leg, and then they squish all that stuff out, and then they have to pack gauze down in there. And you're supposed to go back to get the gauze taken out and whatever. I took the gauze out myself, and yeah, it healed up. It healed up good. But the backs of my hands, my arms, I had like literal black marks all down my arms and stuff from the heroin. So I went to get them removed, and I got the Pico Wave, which is laser tattoo removal. And they said that they didn't know if that would work to take the tattoo scars off of my body. This is the worst lighting. But it did. It absolutely worked. It was 4 sessions because it was $2,000. The only scars I have left are kind of like that one right there. Like I just showed you. You can see the black dope. It was black tar. I have one right there. It kind of looks like ink, so it blends in, but like, I'm glad that I took, because when my hands were covered and stuff, I didn't even want to go in the gas station to pay for gas because I was so embarrassed at the state of my body from all of the heroin stuck, because that's what it is. I'd missed heroin, and it left like a tattoo mark. They had to do the tops of my feet, my legs. There was track marks all the way up my legs. It's a miracle. There's still like, I can see it when I'm not tan. There's like little black dots, but you can't really see it like you can. The Pico Wave works. If you have heroin scars on your body, that Pico Wave will even that stuff out. It's $500 a session. But if you're working, like say you're trying to get like a 9-to-5 or a white collar job, and you got all these marks on you, I would recommend getting them removed, because it's going to make you more confident at work. You're not going to have the anxiety of thinking that people think you're still on drugs, or questioning what those marks are on your body. I would recommend getting it done if you're going to be in some kind of professional setting. It'll make you feel better. And you deserve that. You worked hard to get clean. You deserve to feel clean and to look clean. A lot of people get discouraged about the state of their body after getting clean. They've kind of ruined it. And I was like that when I first got clean. I was devastated when I took the dope goggles off and I looked at the track marks on my body. And it was just black heroin everywhere, you know? And this was at the start of the fentanyl phase too, which is crazy. Y'all know how I feel about that. But yeah, I'm glad that I got them removed. It's worth every... Thanks, Jordan Valor. It's worth every penny. Anyone coming here to start drama will be blocked. I'm good, Dave. How are you doing? Hello, Iraq. Thamu. Hello. Everything is good. I just woke up from a nap. I need to eat. Oh, yeah, Kristen. They were bad. I got pictures I'm going to post. Like I said, they were bad. You look zestful. No, I feel a hot mess express. I need to go to the shower. I'm just being lazy. After I don't get no sleep, it messes my whole day up. That's why they come out to do it. That's why they come out. Oh, don't worry. I'm not staying here tonight. I just came to film content for later content. I was looking at a video the other day to make sure you can see license plates, and you can. So that's good. Put them on blast. Let everybody know who these SOBs are. Oh, get in the bed. Lay down my lazy head. Endocarditis. That's what goes to your heart, ain't it? Ain't that like a heart infection from the dope? That can kill you. I think that's what he was saying. That girl got sepsis. I wonder if that's the same. That's some scary stuff. When my legs swell up, you live in like a state of delusion. You don't want to admit to yourself that it's as bad as it is. And so you wait to go get medical care. Well, congratulations on getting clean, Jordan. You like them uppers. Yeah, I was a downer because you see me naturally. Like, I'm like, I don't need no uppers. I am an upper. I wish I could bottle my energy and sell it. Like, shit, I'd be a millionaire. They had to put a pick in my arm and everything. It was wild. Damn. Girl, I'm so glad you made it out. So glad you made it out. Yeah, the reason I liked heroin is because I'm naturally hyper. I'm hyperactive. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed with hyperactivity when I was like 4. So I guess I never lost that. Yeah. Both of y'all, you should be proud of yourselves. It's not easy to get clean, and it's not easy to stay clean. So many people try to bring you back down into that hole with their BS. They're trying to make you relapse when they're toxicating your life. Let me tell you, they want you to fail because they're failing. It's sad. You would think that people that love you, your friends, your family, that they'd be cheering you on. But so many times, I've failed to see that. I see so many people in NA and AA that just do not have the family support that they should. Their family doesn't even have a baseline for understanding for what the addict is going through and how to handle the situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. Them drugs going around now ain't no real drugs. That's what's crazy. And I have this debate all the time. I always talk about how black tar heroin was 10 times stronger than fentanyl. And the media has gaslit these people into thinking that fentanyl is stronger than heroin. It's just like, come on with the baloney. The reason that it appears stronger, the reason that they're bent over like floppy pieces of bacon in the street is because of the trank that's in it. They only put the fentanyl in it to get them addicted. It's not really enough fentanyl to really do much. That's why they need a damn hit every hour or every 2 hours. I used to do black tar heroin and would not need a shot for 8 hours. That shit was so good. You wouldn't 2 shots a day, you were Gucci. Like, be high as fuck. After sleeping for 4 hours, you'd wake up, maybe eat something and do another shot and go back to bed. I mean, it's crazy. Remember when they told us that we couldn't pick money up off the ground because we'd get poisoned from fentanyl? And it's a lie. It's a lie. That's one of the things I started talking about when I started this channel. That's one of the things that kind of turned things into what it did, because I was so vocal about that's not true, that you cannot get poisoned like that. Stop listening to the media. They're lying to y'all. And they still do. Yeah, you would have to inhale it or ingest it in some manner, whether you're eating it, whether it got in your mouth, whether you sniffed it by accident. I seen an officer that searched and seized a car, and he had one of those Ford hatchback SUVs, and he had the hatch open. And he puts the drugs down on this like little table that was built in the back where the hatch was. He sets the drugs down there, and then 5 minutes later he has an overdose. They were trying to say it was because he touched it. However, it was at nose level. I think he accidentally inhaled some of it through the wind. 2 of the doors on the police cruiser were open in the front, and then the back hatch, if you know anything about wind physics, you know that when he had those two front doors open, it was ventilating air from the back hatch. So air would have been moving out the back of the hatch, which would have pushed the dope right up his nose. And it wouldn't have took much. I mean, especially if he's sober. It wouldn't have took a little whiff of baby powder and he would have been, and he dropped, he overdosed. And they said it was because he touched it. I'll never believe it. He was nose level with the fentanyl. I'll never believe it. And then what about the other officer that dropped in the office a month ago? He actually seized fentanyl, or was it meth? It was one of the two. He seized off of a suspect drugs, and then he took him into the police station while he was in uniform and did him in the bathroom and died. People is getting wild out here, y'all. Where did the officer overdose while doing drugs in the bathroom? At the station. Hello. Hey, Isaac the third. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. You should be proud of yourself too. For sure. 8 years. That's a long time. That's about the time that I stayed clean before I relapsed. I was clean about 8 years. And when they stole my daughter, I went and relapsed like a year after. And then I was on drugs for a few years, and I've been clean for 5 now. So I got clean when I had my daughter. I was clean before I had my daughter. I'd been clean for about 8 years, like I said. Something like that. Having her stolen triggered everything, you know. That's what they were hoping for. That's what they wanted. They were hoping that I died, that I killed myself. 100%. 100%. Then I wouldn't be here to fight. Sheriff's deputy overdoses on fentanyl. He seized while on the job. This is Sacramento County Patrol Deputy. Hold on one second. Sacramento County Sheriff's Deputy ODs on the job in the sheriff's station. This was in February of this year, of 23, sorry, February of 23. And there's actually video of him going into, oh, you're welcome. Hey, Dimitri. There's video of him going into the bathroom. Like, he literally comes in from after arresting and booking this suspect, and he makes a beeline for the bathroom. Like, he literally could not wait to go get high. He'd been doing this for a while, in my opinion. A Sacramento County Patrol deputy who was believed to have suffered a chemical exposure in 23 and was revived by an opioid reversal drug actually suffered from a fentanyl overdose. Deputy Marvin Morals resigned from the department in February of 24 for personal reasons. Bro's got to go to rehab. In more than 400 pages of documents, photos, and videos, the sheriff's office released the results of the internal review, including the recommendation that Morals be fired. In August of 2023, Morals confiscated a glass narcotics smoking pipe and issued a misdemeanor citation for the possession of narcotics paraphernalia. So he didn't even take this person to jail. He confiscated, and this is what I was telling y'all the other day that they do a lot now. Marijuana in particular, particularly, they'll take the marijuana and they'll say that they're going to destroy it, and they'll give you a citation of some sort instead of taking you to jail for minor possession of paraphernalia or minor possession of marijuana. In his report, Morals lied according to the sheriff's office findings when he said he, quote, safely disposed of the glass pipe at the central area station. Instead, documents say Morals admitted to keeping the pipe and smoking methamphetamine residue from the pipe at his home 3 to 4 times over a course of 2 months. I thought he OD'd, but y'all hit him with Narcan. Narcan don't bring meth heads back. Listen, what is going on? Morals said that the use of the methamphetamine gave him energy he needed to write custody reports. And people think I'm lying when I say that social workers and police doctored and lied in my child custody case. And here we have a cop on methamphetamine writing custody reports, in custody reports. No, absolutely not. On October 24th of 23, Morals conducted a suspicious suspect stop, and that encounter recovered narcotics that were believed to be methamphetamine. He issued a misdemeanor citation for possession of methamphetamine to the suspect. Hours later, Morals is seen in a security footage at the sheriff's office. Like I said, made a beeline for that door, entering the public bathroom. Close to the public bathroom. Hold on. Oh, he entered the public bathroom, which was closed to the public at the time. How convenient. He knew exactly which bathroom to go to, so he wouldn't be bothered. Moments later, another deputy finds Morals unconscious on the floor of the bathroom in possession of the suspected meth he seized earlier the same day. The substance that he initially believed to be meth was fentanyl. Damn, you a drug addict and dumb? They look distinctively different. And they taste different too. Like, so he was suffering from a fentanyl overdose in police uniform after writing a citation for a suspect having this stuff on it. And now he's smoking the evidence in the bathroom in uniform at the sheriff's office. Deputies began there's videos of all of this, body camera footage. It is crazy. He's on the floor like a dead fish. And the officer walks in and immediately is like trying to slap him in the face, pick him up. He's like, Morals, what's wrong? Finally, he calls for help, and they bring in Narcan. They find the glass pipe on the ground. That's how they knew that he had been doing drugs. Thank God they found the pipe, because otherwise he might have died. They would have thought that he was having a heart attack or something else. If it wasn't for the glass pipe, they would never assume that he was doing fentanyl. Or I don't know, maybe they might. If he was crooked, maybe all of them are crooked. Deputies began life-saving measures, including issuing multiple doses of naloxone and Narcan before transporting Morals to the hospital. The first report incident noted that this could have been unintentional. They thought that he was exposed to chemicals unintentional. But once again, the meth pipe was on the ground with the fentanyl in it. In the internal review, it was found that Morals used his position of authority to confiscate narcotics and narcotics paraphernalia from members of the public and held them accountable for the violations. The audacity. I mean, do you know how ballsy you got to be in uniform and smoke drugs in the police station? He did not care. He did not care at all. Yeah, I know, for real, Kristen. What an idiot. You couldn't wait till you got home. That's what makes me think he's been doing this a while, because he was so desperate to get high. And you know how it is when you're jonesing for heroin. I'm wondering if he was sick. I'm wondering if hello, Bennett. Hello, Bennett. I ain't in it. I'm wondering if he, had a problem. And then he left for personal reasons. Like, where you going, bro? Rehab? You should. You should. I think that should be your first stop, homie. Yeah, it's not normal. Why not wait to get home? Well, he did say that he thought it was meth and he needed it to write reports. So like I said, he'd probably been doing this for a while. And I think it did say that he admitted that he liked to do methamphetamine so that he could write his police reports quicker. And this is someone who testifies in court, who has to go on the stand and testify against people who have caught DWIs, people who had drugs on them. And he's high on meth, writing their reports. God knows putting what in there. Is that not crazy? And then he ODs in the police station. That is karma. You're right about that. Who said that's karma? Somebody said karma. Kristen, yeah, that is karma. Yeah, I know, Corey. Ain't it crazy? That's what I said. Like, don't act stupid. You know you just was trying to smoke meth and just messed up. Like, yeah, it is a wild video. All the officers standing around him trying to get him to come to, hitting him with Narcan. Like, so much. So much. Yeah. People are so stupid. No, that's him playing stupid because he don't know if he's been caught with his hand in the cookie jar yet. He was trying to play it off like, what's going on? You ever seen somebody murder their spouse and then the cops show up and they're like, I don't know what happened. I came home and they were dead. Okay. Okay. Yep, she killed herself in the damn bathtub. She drowned herself in an inch of water. Sure. It's so funny. Oh, Lord. Who is this? Tolkienlin lady? 1 hour ago. So this lady commented on my post. Oh, I wanted to read y'all some of the best comments from this week, too. Some of the best hate comments. This woman commented when I posted that video, meth heads trying to jump me. I was being facetious. I mean, I don't know. The bitch walked up on me like she was trying to do something. So she says, Miss Tolkien lady, I was a nomad for many years. I hated those people who would pull into Walmart parking lot and run their generator like it was an off-road camp spot. This is why so many Walmarts are not allowing overnight parking. Do not run your generator. Put out your slides, play your music, etc. You are to look as though you are in the store shopping. Girl, I don't have the guts you had, but... And I mean, I wasn't trying to be rude. It was when she lied that set me off. What have I told y'all? Everything's good until they start lying, and then I'll lose my mind. Because I can't comprehend why somebody would do that. I literally saw her looking at me. I literally had the window open like this, and she was standing like 6 feet from the back of the car, staring at my car, craning her neck, trying to see through my window curtains. She was trying to see through these cracks. And then she gonna sit there and say, I didn't even see you. Well, then you must be blind, because you only parked 3 spots away from me, homegirl. I guess that meth got your head all messed up. You staring into the abyss. Oh, that was tweaking. That's what that was. You wasn't looking through my truck windows. You was tweaking. Oh, God. No, you're right, Tolkien lady. It's going to come to the point where they won't let van lifers stay at Walmart. I've already noticed this. I noticed this last year. I rolled up to a Walmart. I went in to use the bathroom, and there was 3 people sitting on the front stump that worked for Walmart. 1 security guard and 2 women that worked inside as cashiers, what appeared to be cashiers. As soon as I'm coming through the parking lot, I can see that they're eyeing me. I did notice when I pulled up that I was going to be the only white person, but I didn't think it'd be a fucking problem. Why would it be a problem? We're not living in segregation. At least I'm not. My mind don't even work like that. Why would I have a problem being the only little white girl in Walmart? I was the only little white girl in high school, so in all my foster homes, so what is it going to bother me? So anyways, I go to roll into Walmart, and I see these 3 people staring me down, and I just knew immediately we were going to have problems. I could feel it. I know these things. I can feel these things. I can see these things. So as I was passing by them, I said, hey, hey, good evening. And they all literally just looked at me crazy. So I was like, God, let me go in here, use the bathroom, hurry up and get back to my car before we have any problems. I'm going to get in my car, put my window covers up, and go to bed. I was already going through a lot back then because I was being stalked and bullied off the internet. And finally, I use the bathroom, I come out, and sure enough, as I'm coming out, I noticed that guy is headed towards his truck. Didn't even think anything about it. The security guy. They have a little car they ride around in. So I get in the car, I put the window covers up, and I'm chilling. And all of a sudden, this guy pulls up, being an asshole. We get in an argument. At some point, I did not notice until a day later. At some point, he had took something metal or something plastic or something. It had to have been strong, whatever it was. And he scratched down my door. He worked for Walmart. He was the security for Walmart, and he scratched my door. All of this is recorded, by the way. Cops show up. They didn't want me sleeping there. But there was other van lifers there, but they weren't white girls. I saw both of them. There was 2 other van lifers. Yeah. Cops show up. The female cop was sweet as pie. She was so nice. I did not take it personal, but I wasn't leaving without the cops showing up. You want to cause a problem? I'll sit here till the cops get here. I'm not rolling my window down. You're a psycho. And clearly serious mental health problems. That Winston-Salem Walmart is the one that we went back to and we read all the reviews. It's a horrible place. There's so many people in the comments that talk about how white folks are just not allowed there. It's crazy. Crazy. Yeah, so I've had one problem at Walmart. It was that one. But I have noticed a trend that they do not like people staying overnight there anymore. And specifically RVs and stuff, because RVs like to dump stuff everywhere. They're nasty. Trash, feces. And then they're out there running loud generators when all of these other van lifers are trying to sleep. It's rude. It's absolutely rude. And the level of entitlement to take up 5-6 spaces is just crazy. That told me all I needed to know about her. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh God. Oh God. You can just tell who people are sometimes. Am I crying? I thought I was just laughing, but whatever. Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? My little bed's comfy. I need to build something in here, honestly. I would love a place of my own. I don't see how that's going to happen when I can't find work. Somebody sent me an email earlier about a job interview tomorrow. I said, sure. When's that? She said, can you do it at 6:45? I said, 6:45? I said 6:45 p.m.? She said, no, 6:45 a.m. I said, sure. Sure. It's just a phone call. Sure. Whatever you need, ma'am. Whatever you need. Before I started on my schoolwork, I checked my Indeed and filled out 2 job applications. One was a Buffalo Wild Wings, and the other one was a, I think it was a bar. I can't think of the name of it. It's a franchise. Carolina Ale House. Carolina Ale House. Buffalo Wild Wings, Carolina Ale House. I mean, I have other skills, carpentry, construction, landscaping, landscape design, blueprint design for landscaping. It's not that I don't have skills. It's just that there's no market. People don't understand because they've been in the same job for years, and I get that. But I can assure you, you better hold on to your job, because if you lose your job now, you're going to go into a market with almost 8 million people fighting, looking for work. Yeah, Erica, I know, because I tried to apply for Section 8 when I had my daughter, and I never made the list. So, I was on there for 4 years. Ain't that crazy? I paid out of pocket for rent. We had our own house. Me and my daughter had our own house. I had a single wide trailer. It was really nice. It was like an open floor plan on the inside, and so she had her bedroom and bath on one end, and I had my bedroom and bath on one end, and then the kitchen was kind of out in the open with like a little island. It was really cute. It's crazy because I used to have an old page where I was going to start back in like 2014, and I was talking about stripping. If you go watch that video, you can see the inside of my house. So I had a very nice house, and I took care of my shit until the state come in and destroyed my life. I can never put it into perspective. I would literally have to like take you back. I'd need a time machine to take you back. Section 8 is absolutely dangerous. It's so dangerous. The amount of bullshit that goes on. I don't know. I wasn't living in Section 8. I paid, once again, let me say this again. I paid out of pocket for rent when I had my daughter. I never asked the government for nothing. I never received food stamps. I never received any of that bullshit. They never gave me vouchers for rent. I paid for everything through stripping. $350 a week in childcare. $500 a month in a truck payment. Additional $250 in truck payment. Another 5 or 6 or 7 in rent. I paid for everything by myself. My daughter's father was not in the picture, and I stripped to support us, and I did a damn good fucking job until the state showed up, and they had a racist social worker, and she got mad. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I know people want to twist it and try to make something out of nothing. It's as simple as that. She wanted my blood. She was out for my fucking throat. All because I said she should shut up and go die. And I never saw my kid again. Never. After that, I never saw my kid again. I said, you need to shut up and go die. And I never saw my kid again. There's witnesses to this. About 8 of them. An attorney, family members. Everybody saw it. And everybody knew it was illegal. My lawyers stood up in open court and said, Your Honor, this is illegal. They cannot do this. It's a violation of my client's civil rights. And she quit that day. My attorney quit that day over my case. I don't think she would have done that for a not innocent person. There's a record of all of this. We're going to go over it one day, but it's probably going to be a few years. I'm kind of living out of a car right now. I'm kind of dealing with other things, you know. I want to go over that when I'm good and ready to file suit against them people. And that's going to take a while to get out of this situation, to come up with $10,000 or more to be able to hire an attorney to do that. Because I am going to fight back. I don't care if it takes me 50 years. There's no statute of limitations against violating my civil rights and harming my daughter. It's crazy. I mean, it's just so unbelievable. I see why my mom was running from them people all the time now. You know, because they took me from her. So it's just crazy what they're capable of. Definitely a speed bump. Yeah, definitely not stripping. That place is a shithole. Y'all, did y'all see that one club that was busted for prostitution? I posted the screenshots. If it's on my post, like my community post, you can see the pictures. Every single one of those girls weighed over 250 pounds. They looked horrible. One girl has got some tracks hanging out of her head. The other girl has got like 4 flaps of back fat. Cannot make this stuff up. It was a strip club that they busted for. It was gang members running it. It's on my community post from like a month ago. But that's what strippers look like now. When I worked at this $1 million club down in Raleigh, North Carolina, it's over by RDU. They just built it. It's called the Cheetah Club. Every girl in there is obese. It's crazy. How you build a $1 million club and then hire a bunch of fuglies? You think you're going to turn a profit on hiring heifers? Like, I don't think you are. But call me crazy. Maybe them heifers will do what you want them to do in them hot tubs, and that's why you hiring them heifers. Because that's good girls. We ain't getting in them hot tubs to fuck nobody. And that's the truth. Old school dancers, they don't go for that. I got lots of friends that are old school dancers. They've been dancing longer than I have. They ain't going for that shit. That's not what this was about. This is not what this was about. It's crazy. It's disgusting. This is exactly how you get sick. And end up with something you can't get rid of. So gross. Yeah, honestly, if a mother has to go into Section 8, I understand that. But I do think that I'm going to say this for people to know the realities. My grandmother grew up in Section 8. I grew up in Section 8 with my grandmother part-time. Weekends, holidays, birthdays. I spent more time with my grandma than my parents at some points in my life. But it's the people that get the homes that don't have their shit together, that invite unsavory people into the apartment complex that typically leads to danger. Section 8 is not the safest place. And if you're going to have to take your children there, I would be on guard at all times. I would get a door ring bell camera. I would have security camera outside my front porch. I would get that place locked up like Fort Knox, okay? Because robberies, break-ins, drug use, domestic violence, child abuse, all of these things are prevalent in the poorer communities. It's just how it is. A lack of intelligence leads to these things, and also to drug use, okay? It's just how it is. Poverty makes these things worse. So you have to keep that in mind, because this is a Section 8 apartment where everybody's in poverty, everybody's stressed out, everybody has major issues, and a lot have mental health issues that are not being addressed. And that's why we hear about these apartment complexes getting shot up and people dying and some boy killing his girlfriend. He wasn't even on the damn lease, and that's another thing. Section 8, I do know from friends that have had it. I told y'all I got a girlfriend of mine that's never worked in her life. She got it at one point, and you and your kids are the only people allowed to be on the premises. You're not supposed to let anybody move in with you, but so often it happens, and the state is not keeping tabs on this. And so they'll have these Section 8 apartments with 5, 6, 12 people living up in there, which is dangerous in itself too. Lord forbid a fire break out. You know, it's just, it's not the best environment to raise children, in my opinion. But you have to do what you have to do. And if that is what you have to do, then just stay safe about it. One of the mailmen tried to abduct a girl who lived 3 doors down from the mailman. Ain't that a government job? That's crazy. I don't doubt it. The mailman. I mean, Jesus Christ. Well, y'all know that there was some construction workers that pretended like they were construction workers, and they went to these old people's houses in this like nice neighborhood, and they went up to this old man's house and they knocked, and him and his wife was inside, and they said that they needed to do some maintenance on the inside of the house, that they were the power company, and the old man blew them off. Well, these people come back the next day. They got on work vests, they got on hard hats, they got on fake badges. The old man decided to let them in the next day, and they died. They killed them. They robbed them and killed them. I mean, you literally cannot trust anybody out here anymore. You really can't. You really can't. I mean, for real, if DirecTV showed up to my house, I would call DirecTV and be like, hey, did you send somebody over here? Because I read about these stories so much. I hear about these stories so much. I mean, it's crazy here in California. They have lots of rules, and they check up on you like you're on parole. That's crazy. No, I don't. My mom, everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. I haven't seen my dad since I was like 9. He's a alcoholic molester. He went to prison. And then my mom died. Then my grandma. Then my mama. My papa. My uncle. Ain't much left. My papa shot himself. My other papa. No. There's nobody left. My brothers, but they're all spread out. You know, they're doing their own thing. And I get that. They have families and stuff. We do talk, but like, you know, it's at a distance. You know how that shit goes with siblings sometimes. It's crazy how 2 people can grow up in the same house but have different childhoods. Way different childhoods. I think by the time my siblings were growing up, because I was the firstborn, by the time my siblings were growing up, my parents had kind of gotten their things together more, and they knew what to do and what not to do as parents. I was the guinea pig for the family. And so I was essentially ignored for the first 2 years of my life. The attachment disorders, the RAD, and the maternal deprivation screams that something was going on, you know? And it's not normal for children to grow up in the circumstances or environment or with the behavioral problems that I did. So I think there's a lot to be said about maternal deprivation and bonding with your child. No, why do you hate them? It's not good to hate, but I understand. I mean, if they were abusive like mine, then I get it. So when I left home, I ran away from home at like 16. And I stayed gone for a few months or a year, and then they caught me, and then they took me back to my parents, and my parents were at the point where they were like, we can't control you anymore, and I was like 17. They finally let me go, and so I went off on my own. And for a long time, I hated them. And then my mom got sick and died, and then I got on drugs, and I never processed my mother's death. That's something I've been working on in therapy for like 3 months. They've paused that, but anyways, I was really angry at her for picking my stepfather over her children. I just don't know how a mother could do that. But, you know, she loved him. She loved him. They got hooked on dope. I'm so sorry. Got you hooked on dope. I believe it. I believe it. They were probably looking for you to support their habit. Were they also on dope? God, that's horrible. How do people raise kids and have a damn active drug problem? Like, it makes no sense to me. None. Thank you. Yeah, they were probably trying to get you hooked up on drugs so that damn they could get drugs. A milkshake and a Big Mac. Yeah, you got to send me the money. No, not Coco. No, I'm in Jacksonville. I'm sorry to hear that, Jordan. I will. I'm going to take it and go get me a burger and a fry. I do need to eat. I wonder what's around here. We haven't eaten today. I took a nap. We had protein for breakfast. I really need to focus on saving as much money as I can, because when they take the truck, I'm going to have money to survive. Yeah, I'm going to be on the streets, but as long as I have a little bit of money for food and water, it'll help things, you know? Fast food. I guess my only concern right now is my computer, because my schoolwork, and when you're homeless, oh, thank you, Kim. Crew, is that how you say that? The thing about being homeless and being exposed is that you get robbed. Like, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And then my computer and my phones, that's the only thing that's on my mind about living on the streets, is getting robbed and having all of my devices stolen. That's my only concern. The potential of getting raped and mugged are very high. Very, very high. Like, very high. Oh, there's a cookout? Freaky, I ain't had cookout in like... We ain't had cookout in like 9 months, y'all. We try to be nice to people. I can't eat McDonald's. How many times do I have to say that? And you shouldn't be eating that shit either. It's horrible for you. That's why your mental health is suffering. People wonder how I hold it together and how I'm smiling, knowing that I'm about to lose my truck because I can't find work. Honey, because I take care of myself. I eat healthy. I drink healthy. As long as you're not eating that shit, you can handle life a little bit better if you're eating right. I promise. Do it for a few weeks and tell me I'm lying. And after you do it, I want to hear your success, because I already know you're going to feel better. Your anxiety, your depression, all of that stuff it just does not affect you like it used to. Not to mention you have energy, you don't feel sluggish, your stomach doesn't hurt, you don't feel bloated, you're not constipated. There's all of these benefits to not eating that shit. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. My vehicle note was due last month. Now I'm 2 months behind. Well, technically 3 as of the 7th. So, it's done. I got all upset last year. I couldn't do nothing about it. I'm not wasting my time crying. I can't do nothing about it. All I can do is prepare for when I end up back on the streets. Which is probably going to be in the next 15 days, because it's already been sent to collections of this week. Which means that they're looking to repossess. Oh. I plan at some point this week to go take out all of the important stuff, so that when they do take it, because when they take it, they're going to take it with everything in it. So I'll lose my bed, my pillow, everything that's in here I'll lose, because I have no family. I have no one to help me get to the repo lot to get all my personal property out. I'm going to lose everything in here. So I've come to the conclusion that the best thing to do is to take my favorite stuff out of here, and when they take it, they can just have it. You know, like, I can't do anything about it. I have no way to get the property out of here. I have no way to set this up to where I don't lose property. I need this home to stay in, and I need the bed in it to sleep in it at night. I can't go unload the bed every day and then wait around for the repo man to repo it. I have a life to live. I have school. I have job interviews. I have job applications. Like, I don't have time to sit around crying for myself. You know what I mean? I did that last year, and it got me nowhere. So I have no control. I've done everything that I need to do. I've went above and beyond, and I get no respect for that, and, you know, and it's fine. It's fine. I can't do anything about it. Can't do anything about it. Well, if you're 2 months behind and they're looking for your vehicle, that means that it's up for repossession. If you're 2 months behind, then they send it to collections. That's how it works. And mine's not 2 months behind. They fucked up paperwork, and now they're wanting me to take an extension, and I'm refusing to do it. So yeah, I could pay it if I got the extension, but I'm not doing that. They admitted that they messed up paperwork. They did not notify me for 3 months. And then all of a sudden I call after making my bill last month. I paid my bill. Here, I'll show you the receipts. I paid my bill, and I call, and it says that I owe $700. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't even owe anything until the 7th of May. And I'd paid April's payment. And they said, oh, well, our paperwork kicked our system kicked the paperwork out, and da-da-da-da-da. They're giving me the runaround to try to make more money. This is what they've done to me 4 or 5 times, and I'm exhausted. They have done this to me 4 or 5 times. They're thieves. So I paid the payments, and they tried to say that I didn't. Well, I have the receipts. Hey, Nacho. April 21st, March 21st, February, December, hold on. November, October, hold on one second. I have the other receipt. Give me a second. I got January on a different thing because I had to use a different card. Oh, it's on the phone I'm talking on. Hold on one second. Yeah, when they do a deferment, yeah, so I have the other receipt, but it's on this phone, because I had to use a different card. When you do a deferment, I got a deferment because I didn't have January's payment. Now, this was at the start of February, so I was going to also owe on February 7th, $700. I didn't have that $1,400. My YouTube check at that time was only $400, okay? I can't make two $700 payments with a $400 check. My hands are tied. What do you want me to do? Come and get the truck. I'm not going to sit here and cry and fight over it. So what they did is they gave me an extension, a deferment. So that means that I paid $400 and something in January, another $200 in February, and then in March, I resumed regular payments. That's why you see March, April, all of that. Now, I can call them right now, and you'll hear the automated system say that I owe for April, and here is the April receipt. Y'all just saw the April receipt. It's saying that I owe for April on the automated system. There's the $725 that I paid in April. Now, when I asked them to send them these receipts showing that I paid, they flat out refused to let me send these receipts. When I asked them if I can send them my paperwork from YouTube to try to refinance the vehicle, they flat out refuse. When I asked them to speak to a supervisor, they flat out refuse. They're scam artists. They've done this to me before. So I paid the over $620 at the beginning of February, right? For the 2 months of January and February. Resumed regular payments in March, April. They didn't say anything about me owing any money. Every time I call and pay, they didn't say nothing in March or April. It was only till May they start calling me, telling me I owe $1,400. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, this is crazy. They tried to say that I didn't make the January payment. I made that January payment on February 2nd, and it's on that phone. I have the receipt on that phone. I made that payment for January on the day that we agreed to the extension, which was February 2nd or 3rd. It's on the paperwork. It might have been the 5th. Regardless, we made, y'all, I got a wedgie, I'm sorry. Regardless, we made an agreement, and they try to say that it's because I didn't sign a piece of paperwork, but they didn't tell me for 2 months. And by the way, they wanted me to have a fax machine to get this said paperwork. I don't know anybody that has a fax machine in 2025, and I damn sure don't have the money nor the gas to be running around looking for one when email exists. Why wouldn't they email it to me? Riddle me this, Batman. Because they're doing it intentionally. They're trying to make it hard. They're trying to stretch out these payments. I'm towards the back of the loan. I've been paying on this truck for about over 4 years, something like that. Signed for 5, I do believe. So we're towards the back of the loan. But I've had 3-4 extensions over the years. So that's going to tack on another year of payments because 2, 4, 6, 8. Do you get it? So that's what they're trying to do. So the $600 and something that I paid in February, for January and February, that money goes to them. That's their money. All I'm doing is essentially paying them a truck payment to push the payments back to the end of the loan and extend the loan. And that's what they're trying to make me do again. So, but now they took my money. They say I owe money for something I've already paid. But they put those 2 payments from January and February. Guess where they stuck those? At the back of the loan. So the agreement that we have, they still get to put those 2 payments at the back of my loan. But now I still owe them more money and the extension didn't go through. Are you starting to understand how illegal this is right now? So they get to keep my end of the bargain, but their end of the bargain I don't get to keep. I'm not doing another extension. I'm done. And at this point, even if I got an extension, I wouldn't have the money for it. I got to go get gas right now. We don't do redacted messages, retracted messages on this channel. Y'all know that. Yeah, so I don't have the money to do it, Erica. The $700 that I received for the truck payment is what I've been living on for the past 3 weeks. That's all the money. I know you guys think that I make all this money and I get donations. I've gotten 1 donation in 3 weeks. 1. And the one before that was 3 months ago. I had 1 person that was helping me, and y'all know I exiled them out of my life. I don't care if you want to say it's my fault. I'm not going to sit here and get psychologically tortured and have my life spiral out of control because I have someone else manipulating me, trying to use me for sex. People don't get it. They don't get it. And they don't get why they're unhappy. And I'm sitting here telling you why you're unhappy. Stop letting people use you. You don't need everybody's help. I would rather go out here and die on the fucking street than allow somebody to manipulate me, torture me, and use me for sex. You think I can't go? Listen, I used to live in $1 million house. I got options. I can take my ass home at any time. The reason I left that $1 million house was to escape toxic bullshit, abuse. And I'm not turning back now. I've made it this far. Hey, Boya. Eli, hello. Thank you. I've made it this far. What people need to understand is me going back into a situation with someone who I felt like was trying to manipulate me for sex, that could make me spiral into a relapse of heroin and kill me. This is not a game. I feel things on a deeper level than most people. I always have. I probably always will. I can't be toyed with like that because I get crazy. Plain and simple. I get crazy. And I usually self-destruct with drug use and alcohol. So I am protecting my sobriety by telling that person that was helping me to leave me alone. You know, it's all that I can do is to protect my sanity. It's all that I can do to protect myself, is not to allow people in to manipulate me. And when I notice that there are red flags, I notice them and I back away. So I had $700. That $700 has been spent on food, groceries, school passes, gas, bills. Like, I had to pay my storage shed. I got cell phone coming up. Like, I'm a big girl, you know? It's like people think because I'm homeless, I don't have bills. Hate to break it to you. There's probably about 250,000 people that live out of a car that have bills, that work, that go to school, that are doing the same shit I am. There's a whole community of them out west. Huge old RV parks everywhere with families living out of them. And their bills for a single girl living out of a car ranges for about $3,000 to $4,000 a month just to live decently. This is more expensive. Your food is more expensive. You're drinking more water in a different way. You don't have running water. You have to have a gym membership. You're going to have more maintenance on your vehicle. How many tires have I been through in 2 years? 3 sets in 2 years. I've been through 3 sets of tires in 2 years. One set was $1,200 for 4. I got a headlight out now. I got a cracked windshield. Like, everybody has problems. It's crazy because all I've done for 2 years is showcase how I do this, how I spend my money. Y'all see me spend my money. Y'all see what I spend my money on. And people give me hell for trying, for doing the right things. So because you would rather go spend your money on Starbucks, liquor, and prostitutes, you want to come here and spread hate on my channel when I spend my money on water, protein, gas, and bills. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It's like people literally have wanted me to suffer on this channel. I mean, if they didn't, then they wouldn't have been calling the food stamp office trying to have my food stamps cut off. Which I don't get anymore. So, joke's on them. It's so funny you say that, Danny, because I haven't had a cop bother me yet. Probably because in my file it says I'm homeless. See, when they get behind you and they run your tags, there's like little notations in there from other officers. And it probably says, she's a good girl, she's trying, she's in school, leave her alone. They watch my channel, honey. Not all of them, but I know there's a few that do back home. Specifically in Eden, North Carolina, and Rockingham County, and Alamance County. I ain't had no problems. None. And if he pulls me, I'm going to be like, what you want me to do? It's $600. What you want me to do? And even if I had the $600, I wouldn't spend it because they're going to repossess the truck. Why would I go spend my money to fix something that they ain't going to be able to sell? Why would I spend my money to go do that? I can't believe it. I just spent $250 on sensors. That's another thing. Last week, y'all went with me to the auto mechanic shop. Everybody was telling me not to fix something that needed to be fixed on my truck. 90% of the people in my comment section were telling me not to fix the sensors on my tires. They were saying, you don't need it, don't worry about it. Do you know that I paid $240 to fix those sensors? And my gas mileage got better. So clearly I needed it because my gas mileage has been messed up for a year. I was getting like somewhere between 8 to 16 miles per gallon, which is horrible. And then people are like, oh, there's no way she spends $2,000 a month on gas. I just said that I'm getting 8 to 16 miles per gallon. And I'm also running the truck continuously at night when it's hot. I go through half a tank of gas some nights just trying to stay cool in here. People will never get it because they're not living it. Yeah, you shouldn't be parking in a handicap zone. That's not right. You shouldn't park there. The ticket's your fault. How much is it? $350? 300. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The principle is what matters, and the principle is that the parking spot is for a homeless person. It's for a handicapped person. It doesn't matter how long you were going to run into the building. It doesn't matter what you were running into the building for. It doesn't matter if the building was on fire. You're not supposed to park there. That's the principle. Let's go get gas. Yeah, so they shitted me on my deferment paper, and now they're wanting me to pay another payment that won't even go towards the truck payment. It'll go towards them. And that means that for 1 year, already in 25, I've got 4 extra truck payments. If I do that, and I'm not because I don't have the money, if I paid 4 extra truck payments, I would have to pay 4 extra truck payments. Do you see what I'm saying? Crazy. And I don't have it. Like I said, the money that I received, I had to pay bills with. My paycheck, and then The truck payment is what I've been surviving on for 2 weeks. What's the date? Since the 21st. The food, the water, the medicine, all of that, you know. All of that costs money. Not to mention it was so hot for the past 2 weeks. I went through over $700 worth of gas. I can't. I was filling up like every day. 60, 70 here, 40 there, 30 there. One day I went twice and